Hello, welcome to another segment of How Could You Leave That One Out? Now, Professor, I have a question. How could you leave this one out? My article, or source, is the Chronicle by Michael Psellos, a Byzantine monk born in 1017 who lived till around 1078. Not much is known about his personal life, but he did have an important impact in Byzantine and medieval literature. His family is from Nicomedia. He was born in Constantinople, though, and through his education he became an influential advisor to Constantine Monomachus, the Byzantine emperor. Now, for a long time, he had an important position in the power politics. He played a role in the transition from Michael VI to Isaac I Komnenos, then to Constantine Doukas, though as I said, not much is known, but he was an important player in the imperial throne. He lost favor at one point, but was brought back by the Empress Irene. Now, his biggest influence, I would say, for writing the Chronographa, is Suetonius, the ancient Roman biographer. Now, this Chronographa contains 14 biographies on important Byzantine emperors, starting with Basil II, known as the Bulgar Slayer. Now, Basil, although unlike other emperors Michael wrote about had not been in his time, he was one of the greatest emperors of the Macedonian dynasty, which saw a restoration in the fortunes of the Byzantine Empire. He was a military emperor, and because of the influence of Suetonius and other ancient authors, this Chronographa focuses mostly on military and political affairs, though we do get a sense of the culture at the time and religious ideas. As I said, it's an emphasis on political and military developments, and this emperor was perfect for that. He broke the power of the nobility, so they couldn't overtax peasants, and which increased revenue for the state and decreased potential rivals. Because Basil, early in his reign, had to fight off two Byzantine emperors in Anatolia Byzantine generals who tried to usurp his position. And since then, he was pretty cautious around nobility. He was a boorish man and wasn't much into art or literature, but he was a capable administrator. He spent most of his time waging war, although his reign was very stable. It was foreign war. He fought against the Fatimids, and he also completely destroyed the Bulgarian Empire, the first one. Now, they had been a thorn in Byzantine Empire's side for a while, and he gets his name from blinding whole armies after their defeat and sending them back with a few soldiers who just have one eye. He blinded only one eye for one, but had them lead back the rest of the soldiers. And the Bulgarian Tsar, when he saw this, he was Simeon, I believe, he was supposed to have had a heart attack and died. And he completely integrated it into the Byzantine lands, allowing Byzantium to reach its largest territorial extent since the 7th century when the Muslim invasions began. Now, this is enough to explain, the big resurgence of Byzantium, as it was the bulwark against Islam which kept Europe safe, and an important Christian civilization that kept much of the ancient world alive. Interesting to note, Michael Psellos himself was a big admirer of Plato, to the extent that he was criticized and denounced for being a follower of Plato and not God, although he was a churchman, interestingly enough. He wrote a lot of other things too, about De Operatione Deum, which is a classification of demons, grammatical poems, rhetorical speeches, exercises, satire. I mean, he was a pretty Renaissance man, known as one of the most learned men of his time. Not just learning about, I feel we didn't learn more about Byzantine civilization. We went over the controversies with icons, but I believe Byzantium deserves a bigger role, and especially around the Macedonian dynasty, which was a cultural revival that touched the Middle East and Europe. So how could you leave this one out? It's a good question. We focus mainly on Northern European sources, some Italian, and of course, which is nice, Islamic, but I feel the Byzantines deserve a bigger voice. Thank you.